Hello there, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Knocks to Nuggets. My name is Oluwayomi, and such a joy to come your way this beautiful day. How was your weekend? How was the Independence Day celebration for Nigerians out there? I'm sure it was a time of different positions about independence. Some rejoiced, some said was there to celebrate. But I can tell you one thing to celebrate: the fact that you are alive is a reason to celebrate. Another reason is the fact that Nigeria is still one today. Yes, we have our challenges. There's so many of them. Everybody, every spectator knows how to score the goals. Everybody knows how to govern right. But we owe the government one thing: to pray. You might say, but you may have been praying and praying and praying. I don't understand. Yes, let's keep praying. Don't get weary in well doing. Keep praying. And it's not a coincidence that we're talking about politics, because when you're praying, you also need to be doing something. Now, let me ask you: are you in any political party? Are you a registered member? Okay, let's not go that far. Are you a voter? Do you have a voter's card? Were you at the last? Did you vote at the last election? Those are questions to ask ourselves. If the righteous do nothing, then we cannot complain when the unrighteous rule. Every one of us have a duty. It's a duty to get involved. It's a duty to be involved. It's a duty to serve. It's a duty to care, not just by words of mouth, but by the things that we do. Last week, Honorable Dayo Israel was here, and he kept emphasizing the need to participate from the grassroots. Don't just look for connection to the presidency. Don't look for connection to the to His Excellency, the governor of your state. Start from your local government. Start from your ward. Do you know which ward you even belong to? Do you know who the ward chairman is? Do you know who your local government chairman is? Do you know who your councillor is? Do you know who represents you in the house? Do you know who the senator of your constituency is? Those are key basic issues we all should know. We can't keep folding our hands and keep saying, why are things going this way? Why are things going this way? If you know what to do, then let's partner with the government. Let's get involved. Let's get in and let's get something going. And that's key. That's a dear necessity today. The world out there is waiting, and they're waiting for you and I. And it's necessary for us to be a part of it. So while we're waiting for Honorable Dayo to sign on and join us in this conversation, I want you to know that the government needs you. The government needs you. The government needs you to be a part of this. Don't wait for a political appointment to be the minister, to be the ambassador, to be the governor. No, start where you are. Even in your street, your LCDA, your community. Let's even bring it down to the Residents Association. Be a part. Join hands and build your community. Join hands and build the nation. Join hands and let all of us do something cool with our time. So, well, today, Honorable Dai will be joining us shortly, and I'll be very briefly because again, duty calls. He's got to catch a flight, and so he will be here with us for maybe just 15-20 minutes. But whatever time he has to spare, we are going to get something juicy out of him. And I'm also excited to let you know that next week we're going to talk about something that really concerns you, and this concerns you as a person, and that is security. Security concerns is global. If you're in Nigeria, yes, it's facing us, but it's not only about Nigeria, it's everywhere. It's north, south, east, and west of the globe. Violence is becoming the order of the day globally. How do you carry on? How do you ensure your personal security? So, next week, Monday, joining me will be another expert. I'll be talking about your personal security. How do you even ensure your personal security? You'll be talking to us next week, Monday, and you don't want to miss it. Security is everybody's concern. You and I have a part to play in security. So next week, Monday, again 7:45, I'll be hosting Dixon Osaje, a security expert, and he'll be here live talking to us about the things we need to know about security. Please don't procrastinate. Don't say, oh, that's security. Don't worry. I'm praying. The key is to watch and to pray. So, yes, you are praying. I appreciate the fact that you are praying, but also you need to watch. How do you watch? How do you watch effectively? Those are the things that we'll be talking about next week, Monday. While we're still waiting for Honorable Dayo, something came up in my spirit some time back, and I want to raise it. In a later edition, we'll be talking more about it, and that is self sabotage. You heard me right. Self sabotage. Many of us unconsciously get involved in self sabotage while we are praying, while we are fasting, while we are trusting God. There is nothing that God is going to come down to do afresh for us. Everything God will do, He has done. What is left is for what you and I need to do. And that's the honest truth. God's not going to do something new. Something that's never, like the Bible rightly says, there is nothing new under the sun. Everything that you see today has been. What we have is improvement. What we have is building on the foundation. Creativity is speaking. But you know, when it comes to self sabotage, when the enemy is outside, it's different. But when you are the enemy of yourself, it's trouble. And that's one thing I want to challenge everybody. We're going to build on it in a later edition. We're going to really sit down and break down the issue of self sabotage. But many people get involved in. Let me give you an example. So you're hungry, you have food in your kitchen, your gas is working, you have all that it takes to cook the food, and yes, you can cook it. You even have money to order the food, but then you sit down in your sitting room and say, Father, I'm praying for you to feed me. Now that looks like the extreme. So you are sitting down and you are praying, Lord, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. Lord, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. Lord, feed me. It's not going to happen that way. You've got to get up by yourself and do something. So right now, Honorable Dayo is in the house, and we're going to just have him very briefly. Good morning. I know it's a very tough schedule for you, and I'm glad you're still able to squeeze it in to be here with us. And good morning.
How are you? I'm so excited and delighted to be here. I'm excited to be on the show again today. I apologize. It's been an hectic trip, hectic week,
I
but
know.
a great week ahead in Jesus' name.
Amen. So I'm going to just take 10, 12 minutes of your time. So my time starts now. Let me ask you one burning question. I sent you a chat on it and I'm asking you publicly. Is there a time? So we've talked a whole lot about politics, get involved, and all of that. Is there a time to register to be a member of a political party?
Yes, actually. Thank you, Pastor Yomi, for all that you're doing. There are two levels of registration that is needed. One is registration to be a member of a political party, a political association or ideology. And the second is a registration to be a voter. Now, first, it is important that you register as a voter because that is what really gives you power during the election. Even in the political party, you are irrelevant if you don't have a voter's card because it means that you have no electoral value. No matter how much valuable you think you are to the party, if you can't contribute for us with your vote on the election day, you really have a minimal value. Of course, there are other ways at which you can show value, but in terms of uh, electoral value on the days begins with you being first able to vote. But of course, you can also be a canvasser of votes on the election day. You could be a canvasser, you could be agent, you could be other things. Um, but voter's card is first. So that's the first thing you must do. Then, in terms of voting, in terms of relevance in your political party, luckily, almost all the parties have a roll on, continuous membership process. So all you need to do, like I said earlier, is to go and find your ward chairman. Pastor Yomi, did you find your ward chairman yet?
I have not. I've made attempts. Trust me, I have. I have made calls. I have made
What
contacts.
government again? Let me see if I have any help I can make. What what
Sorry,
lo- what local government are you from? Or
Bariga.
Bariga? No problem. I'll make sure that we can get you your membership. I'll make it one by God's grace. So and that local government is actually important because the chairperson of all local government chairman in the whole of Nigeria is the chairman of Bariga local government. So the Bariga local government is very important in the matter of local government in Nigeria right now. And so what I'm saying in essence is when you identify your ward chairman or your LGA chairman, that's where you register. So yes, the party have a membership drive that happens at a particular time, but really that doesn't mean that you have to wait until when APC we are recruiting or we are revalidating membership to be a member. No, you can't be a member of APC or whatever party you want to join at any particular time by just going to your ward chairman, going to your LGA chairman and saying that you want to be a member. If they have a temporary form, they'll give you one. And you start attending ward meetings. And you don't need a membership card to be able to go to ward meetings, to attend party functions, to contribute to the party. And, your membership also begins from just you going to participate and getting involved in what's going on at the party, contributing, volunteering, and making a difference and influencing what goes on in your political party. So it is based on that then, so if, for example, there's now a major membership drive, you can also be that. And that happens not just even for those who have been members, but for new members as well.
Okay, that's fine. Now, come back to last week. Two questions were on the floor before we shut down for the week. And the first one is you're going to tell us your story, how you got involved. And the second thing is women participation in politics. Are we are we this are we second class? Are we relevant? How relevant are the women? Or is it a men's world and women are just left to go and do the welfare?
Let me tell you something. Women, what you need to know is that the most powerful cluster, stakeholder in every political parties are the women. If there's a political gathering today, 90% of those who are going to be in that gathering are women.
Hmm.
The real people that vote, that mobilize people to come out to vote, that canvasses for vote, are the women member of the party. When a party has a political function, the real guys who implement and manages those functions, you will see them. The only challenge is the number of their representation in the leadership. But it is the woman that does the work. They are the women leaders who goes and every function you see them, they'll come, they'll dance. They are the one that will not conduct on election day to deliver. But of course, where there needs to be improvement is a number of women in party leadership and in political leadership. But women are very instrumental to political and electoral matters in this country. They do a lot that is under celebrated. If you
So,
want an election,
yes, go ahead.
if you look at the number and the ratio of those who have voters card, I can tell you that women have more voters card than men. In particular, in the grassroots. Sorry, I have a bit of allergy. I think I've not been sleeping. If you give me a
Challenge of
second,
leadership.
yeah, if you give me a second.
Okay. So while he's coming back on, one thing he's saying, and for every lady, for every woman out there, let's get involved. Like he rightly said, and I'm going to follow him up on it. I'm going to get myself registered into a political party. We cannot fold our hands, like I said earlier before he came on. We can't fold our hands and expect magic to happen. It's not going to happen. We have got to pay the price. So go ahead.
So what I was saying in essence is the women folk are very critical. They run the party. They run elections. So don't let anybody fool you that women. No, no, no. Women are very important in
So
political
why are
parties.
we not in leadership?
So there are not enough women in leadership. There are women in leadership, but not enough women in leadership.
Why?
I'm not sure why, but when it comes to the engine room that makes the thing works, the women are really important. They are the center of it, and they are
Hmm.
instrumental to it, and that's why we must appreciate the role that women play in political parties. So perhaps what has happened? So I think one of the reasons is because most of the women that goes into politics are grassroots women. And so there's a level at which they engage or can participate. Imagine someone like you, for example, at a party level in your ward, you're an influencer in your ward. Automatically, you would attract a leadership position in your ward just by doing, just by contributing, just by participating, and at the level at which you would operate. But many women in your own class
I'm
don't
not.
want to be involved. They don't want to deal with their supposed, pepper seller, tomato seller, and all of that. So what you realize that the women who are involved are the women in the grassroots, at the low of the low. Women of from the upper echelon, many of them just want to run for political office and don't want to get involved in the party politics of it. So most of the time, the engagement comes from just coming to the office, coming to run for election. Many of them don't actually get ingrained in the party structure itself. They just want to be candidates for
Hmm.
election. So they come, they want to get a position, they want to do stuff and all of that, which is also fine. You can choose what you want to do and where you want to operate. But it's important that excuse me, many of the elitist women don't want to get involved in the party structure of things or party leadership. They want to get involved, excuse me,
Sorry.
in the leadership. So that's the difference.
Wow. Wow. Okay, Dayo, we have a short time left, but let me ask you, tell us your story. How did you get involved? How did you get, tell us your story, and from your story, I'm sure a lot of us will pick up things on what to do. Tell us your story.
So for me, my trajectory have been interesting. My I believe I'm talking about my story from the access of politics and power.
Yes.
My
Yes.
my association with politics and power began when I was very young. I was in secondary school, but my best subject was government. While I was a government student in my secondary school, I was also helping my teacher, my government teacher, I think it was Mr. Kishiko, his name was. I was helping him to mark government papers because if we're
Hmm.
talking about government in my school, I was literally a key person. It always been my passion: government, politics, democracy. So that was my best subject in secondary school. And so from secondary school, I'd always had club and societies that had formed that were promoting, you know, um, youth participation in governance and in politics. I started the Child Rights Club in my secondary school. I started going for conferences and seminars when I was in secondary school. This was the Abacha years. So it was the military days. And so I went to join CLO, Civil Liberties Organization. At that time, Ayo Bay, Abdul Oro were the leaders, Olisa Agbakoba. I remember, I think it was 1998 when Gani Fawemi had the 1 million man march. I participated. I was in a Buntemeta. They came down at the Buntemeta Evans Square, I believe it was at that time. By that time, like Clinic Road and all of that. I joined the 1 million man march towards the tail end of it. And, I usually will go every December to this day dome for the human rights activities by what's this Urilos at Apapa Creek Road when Olisa was running his program at Urilos, then Democracy Day.
Yeah.
I'll be in the company of Ganifawe Imifemi Falano. I'll go in my school uniform. I was a little boy. And from going there, I started getting involved in development sector. I got involved in British Council and UNICEF in Nigeria. So by 1999, 2000, I was already around people who were agitating for, democracy, and who were supporting the new administration and all of that. I remember in 19, I think it was 98 or 99. I think it was after Abacha died, and after Tabiola came back to Nigeria. She was starting, she was, doing a lot through an organization called Kind. She had a
Yeah.
meeting with Chief Wale Soyinka, and I think it was Collins Obalala and Abdul Oro. No, it was Jimmy Ate also for Chikato. It was from NTA, Tony Abe, who is now late, Larry Suraj, and others. And I went to that meeting. I was invited to that meeting in my school uniform at MKO's residence in Ikeja.
Wow.
Yes, I was the youngest there. I went there in my school uniform. When everybody was going, we finished the meeting and they were all driving away in their cars. I was walking out of the meeting because I was still in my, a young lad. I was looking at them, and Colonel came from Canada at that time with one nice, I don't know if it was a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or one fine car. And I'll say, one day me too, I'll be driving cars like this.
Wow.
At
Wow.
that in MKO's house, and it was buffet time, and they had all the various foods on the table. And I just went there. I just took one meat and one spoon of rice. Come on, let me just behave myself. But outside knows today, because if she tries any of those meetings, I'm eating all the shakis and the beans and all of that. At that time, you have to eat moderately, that you don't think that you have not eaten in your own house. But that was how it all started.
Wow.
Development, civil society, activism. So I went to a conference, 2 events in 2000. I think it was 2001. It was the role of a child. No, it was the Young General Assembly session in Swaziland. And then after I came back from that, I went for the UN People's Congress in Italy, where I worked
Wow.
from Peru. I was
Dayo,
still
wait,
yeah.
wait, wait. This is getting very intimidating. Let me ask you this question, because now it's getting very intimidating. Is there a time that is too late to start? Because I look at when you started, I tell you to come and join now. Is it not too late?
No, my trajectory it's not about time. Or people can just come from nowhere and they just pull you. But the reality is that it's always a silent time. So, for example, my friend or my brother, who is the chairman of Koshofe local government, had ran for House of Assembly in Koshofe in 2015. He didn't get it. He
Yeah.
ran for, I think it was chairman in 2017 or so, and he ran for House of Assembly in 2019 and didn't get it. But now when he ran for chairman, he got the ticket. So anytime you see someone really who got something, who worked for something, apart from those that are given on the platter of gold, so this is the thing. When you're somebody who gets something, they either worked for it silently behind the scene that you didn't notice when they were working, just saw them get it, or somebody else worked for it. So, for example, there are some people who are in some positions in government. They didn't have to work for it. They didn't have to suffer for any years. They didn't have to do any background work. But somebody else paid the price. So, for
Mm.
example, their father was a core person in a party. So I know, for example, the wife of my friend, she's the vice chairman of a local government now. And how did she get there? Her father had been instrumental in the party in a local government. He had worked and served the party vigorously. And when the election was coming, they said, Chief so and so, for your labor for the party, you would get compensated during the whole consolidation meetings and stuff. We are getting the vice chairman slot. And then the father will come and say, okay, I want to give the slot to my daughter. And so the daughter comes out of nowhere, supposedly, became the chairman or the vice chairman and all of that. But you don't see the daughter. What you don't see is the years of labor
Of the
of the
father.
father behind the daughter.
But that brings us back to godfatherism.
But so now that's at the party level. So, for example, some party will come and say, for this election, we're not going to go to a primaries. We want to go to what we call, I've forgotten the word, it has a C in it. Where you come together amicably and say, how do we want to do this? Who's going to step down for who and agree among yourself. So that,
Okay.
for example, necessarily maybe godfatherism. It's people coming together. Now, it's not fair, really, on others who have no father. I've been a
Mm-hmm.
victim. I ran for House of Assembly. I was doing well in the poll, and then suddenly um, someone had the same opportunity because the father was influential, and the father said my son was going to go. And I didn't have any father but God the Father. And unfortunately, you know, I had to step down because someone had an influential father. So I
That's the
understand what
consensus candidate.
consensus candidate, yes. So consensus, they come together and say, this is what we want to do, I want to do it. I've been a victim of that, at least once that I have. Actually, twice. I've been a victim of consensus candidacy twice. And when they say, no, this person want to go. But it's a model and allowed in some political parties. And yes, we may not allow for fair game, but you know, um, it's a model that also exists that
Hmm.
we must deny. So the reality is that no matter how long that you have been, it's really not about how long you've been in the system. It's also sometimes about, you know, how much years of contribution is behind you.
Hmm.
Uh, you
Wow.
know,
Wow.
and not all the time what you know.
Hmm. Okay. About to let you go now. So I'm going to take your final word. What's your final word? What's your final challenge to everyone going to listen and those who are listening now vis-a-vis politics?
So today I'm speaking at an event with the Vice President of Nigeria on the politics that works. I'm sharing the same experience this afternoon alongside the Vice President at an event. And the idea is that we can get more of us to get into the system, in particular, educated, exposed, elitists. Because if we have more people who have the fear of God, who have passion for the people, and who have the interest of the country at heart, this country will change. We need more bold, righteous people to get into government and politics to begin to influence and change things from the inside. And God help us.
Yes, God will help us. Thank you so much, Dayo, for being on this show. I truly do appreciate you. I'll be chatting you up. And remember, you gave me a promise, and I'm holding you to that word.
That we'll do that.
Okay.
By
Thank you so much for being on this call. And that was Dayo Israel. He's had to run off, like he said to us. He had to go off. But this issue of politics, we are not done yet. In coming weeks, I'm going to bring in another person who is also involved in grassroots politics to talk to us about it. We need to really, we can't keep folding our hands. Everybody is busy. Everybody has a plate full. But we all have got to create some space for the things that concern us in that plate. And that's my challenge to all of us. All of us want to make money. All of us want to get things done. But all of us want right governance. All of us want good governance. All of us want to have infrastructure. If we must have it, then let's also do something about it. Let's get involved. So watch this space in the coming weeks. Another person who's going to be coming to talk to us again about politics and our involvement. We all have got to get our hands into the mud. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get it done. I'm not saying get go for election. You don't have to go for election, but even in your word, you can be relevant. You can be a kingmaker. You can be a policy maker. You can drive change from your little corner. All of us can do it, and let's get it done. Let's stop being elitist, looking for how to become the governor, the vice president, or the president, or the deputy governor. Let's get this work done from the grassroots. I know you can do it, and together we can make a difference in our nation and whichever nation that God has planted us in. Next week, Monday, like I said to you earlier, we are coming back to talk about politics. Yes, thank you, Inim. The change begins with us. We are the ones that will make that change happen. We can't fold our hands and say, let's pray. We are praying, but we'll watch and we'll pray. Like Nehemiah, we'll hold the rod, the gun, the machete, the whatever, and again we'll get the job done. So we'll pray, we will work. Both will go together. Thank you, everybody that's on this call. Next week, Monday, like I said, we're not talking about personal security today. and a security expert will be joining us on this show. Very knowledgeable, very vast person, and there is a lot you will glean from the person. As you go into this week, nothing is impossible for you. Whatever looks impossible, just telling you, I am possible. If you can think it, you can have it, you can be it. And just never forget, together we win. Thank you so much for being on this call. I truly do appreciate every single one of you. And for those that will watch it after, thank you. Remember, like it, share it, pass your comments, and let the world know there is something called Knocks to Nuggets. Love you. Bye for now.